Hi, I'm Connie Butler, and I am an agent with Keller Signature Partners. Last April, my dad became ill, and on Red Day, when I was supposed to be helping with the community service, we were in surgery instead, and my dad was having his foot amputated. And that was the beginning of the support that I received from my team. On that day, I cannot begin to tell you, I can't even remember the total count of agents that I received text messages and emails from telling me to keep my chin up and that I and my father and my sister were in their prayers and they were thinking of us. And that the summer proceeded as things just got worse and worse and worse, and there was never a time that anyone in the office didn't come up and give me a hug, tell me they were thinking of me, asking me if there was anything I could do or they could do to help me with my business, because I was taking care of my dad, trying to run my business and then take care of my family on top of it. And then in August, we lost him. It was sudden. And once again, my signature partners came to my aid and gave me the support and the strength I needed to get through, the encouragement to get back to work and get my business back in place and get going. And here we are 6 months later, and things are going great. Since that time and after everything that I received, I wanted to give back and help out. Therefore, I joined the Culture Committee, and I now am in charge of running the subcommittee, which reaches out and lets the agents know when we have an agent in need so they too can feel the support from the team members through a text or through an email.
Hi, I'm Linda Gonzalez, and I'm with Keller Williams Signature Partners. In August of 2013, I broke my ankle, and it was a very long healing process. I've had to have 2 surgeries, pins and screws. I was in a wheelchair for 3.5 months. I wasn't able to show homes, and it was a very difficult time for my family. Keller Williams was there for me, and I am very grateful because I went through even 5 months of physical therapy after that. And I came to them because I really didn't know how I would be able to, continue doing what I needed to do and what I needed to pay if it wasn't for their support. It was a very difficult time for my family. I didn't even know if we were gonna, have a Christmas, and me for myself, I didn't mind, but I do have a younger daughter at home, and it would be the first time that she wouldn't even receive a Christmas present from us, and that was very hard on us. My husband is also in a commissions-paying job. He's a car salesman, and November, December, January sometimes are very hard months, so times are very rough for us. And I came to Keller Williams. I decided to call them and ask, if there was something that they could do to help me out, because I know I wouldn't be able to pay everything that was already outstanding, plus my dues, plus, see if I could buy my daughter something for Christmas. Keller Williams helped me. I'm very grateful. They helped me pay, some of my bills. They helped me when we were able to buy my daughter something for Christmas and have a Christmas.
Hi, my name is Tony Titus. I'm a licensed real estate agent with Keller Williams Signature Partners in Wichita, Kansas. 10.5 years ago, events started in our life that changed our life as we had known it for not necessarily the best, but not necessarily the worst. My husband lost a job. took another job, lost every benefit that we had ever had, number one of which was health insurance for our family. We didn't, at the time, made the decision that we could not afford the health insurance that we checked into. A year and a half later, an event happened that was catastrophic in our world, not only health-wise, but financial-wise. I almost died. Had a severe health issue that required 8 days of hospitalization, surgery, and no insurance. And of course, as a wife and a mom, your first thought, even though you know that you're dying, is how are we going to be able to survive this and how will we get through? There was a couple of girls in our office then that were very supportive and came to visit me in the hospital several times. And one of the first things they said was, you need to apply for the KW Cares grant. At that point, my response to them was, no, there are other people that need that worse than I do. We had had lots of experiences and stories told us about agents that had gone through Hurricane Katrina and lost everything, homes, cars, businesses. And so I really didn't feel like that was something that I wanted to pursue. But when you're in the hospital for 8 days and you have surgery and there's lots of specialists and you have blood transfusions and you have lots of medical expenses and you don't have a drop of insurance or anything to help with that, the expenses mount up pretty quickly and the phone calls start coming in wanting and demanding payments. And so you're trying to work that all out. And one day, I had not been able to return to work, but the girls came to see me and they just absolutely insisted that I apply for the KW Cares grant. We put the application in. It's a lengthy process. This was through the international office. We had nothing locally at the time, but Keller Williams International had this KW Cares program. And so we filled out all the paperwork, had to draw lots of copies of financials and the hospital bills, the specialist bills, the surgeon bills, the anesthesiology bills, all those things. We also had to make copies of all of our own personal financial situation at the time, down to every little dime that was going out and being spent through our family budget at that time. Then the process of waiting began. And in the meantime, we're still trying to keep the family afloat and keep the cars filled with gas, and I can't work. I'm not able to work for over 6 months. But we finally got a letter and a phone call from Keller Williams Cares, the international office, and we were granted an award to help us be able to relieve and take off some of that load of financial stress and strain. I can't tell you how important it is to be a part of a group of agents in a real estate company that has something like that available for their agents. When you face the thought that you might have to leave the home that you've lived in for 32 years and that you love, and even though you're willing to make those choices and make those decisions, it's still a very daunting process. The check that I got from Keller Williams Cares was a huge amount. It enabled us to pay off almost all of the debt through the medical realm that we had in the medical debt. We had been paying on some things. We had done a few things to try to help through our own individual resources, but that check came in and I sat down and I called my husband at work and I said, you've got to come home right now. And I'm just bawling like a baby and just so moved and so touched that this would happen to us. And he came home and I showed him the check and we both cried, and then we said, let's get the bills and let's get them paid. And so we paid off, like I say, a lot of the small bills as well as several of the larger ones. Makes a world of difference. It enabled me to come back into my business when I was released by the doctors without that mountain of debt over us, and to focus my energy and my efforts on getting the business back and going. This institution that has set up this Keller Williams Cares is so important to me that since that time, and I don't say this to brag on myself because it's not near as much as we would like to do. I wish I could give 100% of every one of my commission checks back to Keller Williams Cares, but we do give a certain percentage of my commission checks back to Keller Williams Cares, knowing that we want to be able to pay back what we were so generously and graciously given, so that as others come along through Keller Williams Wichita or Keller Williams Kansas or Keller Williams Midwest, Keller Williams International, that the funding would be there and the needs would be able to be met to help those that are in need. I was with another real estate company, and never heard of anything like that. And it was a very, very large company. So if you have never given to Keller Williams Cares, my encouragement to you is, even if it's only $10, take that amount out of your checks that you receive from every sale that you make. And know that it's not about you, it's not about us, it's about helping those that are a part of our Keller Williams family to be able to move on with life through either the natural disasters or the financial disasters, through health or whatever happens to people in their lives. It's a life-changing moment. It's a heart-changing moment, and I want to thank Keller Williams Cares. I want to thank Keller Williams International and everyone that was a part of Keller Williams International for coming up with that ideal and that dream and that vision, because it does change lives and it makes life worth living.
Hello, I'm Penny Johnson. I'm the operating principal for Keller Williams Signature Partners in East Wichita. What that means is that I am the owner of record for Keller Williams Realty International, and they awarded me with a franchise to open this office in East Wichita in 2006. I had no idea at that time the wonderful group of people that God would call to be a part of this business with me. I have a great group of investors who made the opening of this office a reality, and I am very blessed by the people that we have here, and have made friends that I know will be friends for lifelong that I didn't even know when we opened the office. So it's been a fabulous thing. And Keller Williams, with their life worth living, business with owning, and model, and our culture of caring and taking care of the agents, has proven to be a reality in our Wichita family. November of 2014, so just a little over a short year ago, but it seems like a century now, we always have Thanksgiving at our home. And all of our family comes from all over, and friends too, and my son and his wife and my grandbaby packed for 3.5 days and came to our home. And Jeremiah was injured in a four-wheeler accident. He's my oldest son, and severely crushed the 2 bones in his lower left leg, right above his ankle. And it was a tragic accident because of the condition his leg was in. One resident even wanted to amputate his leg below the knee, which we chose not to do. And we were in the hospital. He aspirated during surgery and got aspiration pneumonia, ended up in the ICU unit. It was a desperate hour for our family. And my family at Keller Williams gathered together, and I just can't tell you the impact of their love and caring, the text messages, emails, phone calls, gift cards to Panera's and the restaurants around Wesley where we were staying, and even after we got home. The kids packed for 3.5 days, and they lived with us for 3.5 months because Jeremiah was unable to travel and had, I think, a series of like 3 surgeries during that time. Shonda Curtis was our culture committee chair, and she would call me and say, "I've got food for your family." And we were caring for a little grandbaby, and Dennis and I have had a baby in our home for many years because Jeremiah is 40. And so between having him as an invalid, my daughter-in-law working, the baby we were caring for, these things, these gifts that were so heart-touching that there was a whole family of people at work that loved us so much. And it helped us so much. We didn't have to worry about cooking, and it just, I can't tell you how many times I've cried over their kindness and love. And that caring continues. I mean, like even just today, I had someone ask me, how is your son? How is his leg? He just had his last surgery this last November. So it was a series of probably 4 major surgeries in a year, and he is walking on his leg again. So we have hope for him to have a great future, and he still has pain, but he's working through it, and I just don't know how we would have made it through that time without my beloved friends and colleagues at my Keller Williams office. And I will be forever grateful to them for all that they did for us. And I'm grateful for the opportunities that I have to repay by helping them when their times of need come.
Hi, my name is Shonda Curtis, and I head up the Culture Committee for Keller Williams Signature Partners here in Wichita, Kansas. And I wanted to let you know that our International KW Cares was started in 2000 to help agents who are going through financial struggles. KW Cares stands for Caring Agents Responding to Emergency Situations. We are all independent contractors, and so sometimes when closings don't happen for whatever reason, and our paychecks are not coming in, and many of us don't even have medical insurance, it can be very difficult for agents that are going through a tough time. Majority of the reasons that people ask for assistance is usually because of a medical need, but it's not the only reason. So this nonprofit was created to help those agents that are struggling through tough times when life happens. As far as our local office goes, it's our goal to raise $10,000 this year. We'll send $3,000 of that to the International Fund, $3,500 of it to our regional fund called Heartland Partners in Caring, and we're going to try and keep $3,500 here at our local office for the agents that are in need. You're going to hear some of their stories today. We have someone going to speak of receiving help from the International KW Cares, from our regional Heartland Partners in Caring, and from our local fund, and being able to help our own agents out. Everybody in our office feels like this is such a good thing that we do, that even our own agents oftentimes sign up to contribute money to be donated out of their own closings to go back to help out the other agents.
Well, you know, Shonda, we just had Keller Williams Cares in the beginning.
I know, and Keller Williams Cares is awesome, and we really appreciate that it was started, but one of the struggles that we found out is that it can take several months, as you'll hear from Tony's story, in order to receive the money. And sometimes the agents, they need the money right now.
Yeah, can't wait.
As a matter of fact, we've had an agent, once our regional Heartland Partners in Caring was started, we had an agent that really did need a more immediate need.
We did, and we hadn't even joined the Heartland Partners in Caring group yet. It was actually started in Kansas City because there's 8 market centers in the Kansas City area, and of course with 8 offices, the need for urgent help right away came up frequently, and so they started their 5013C program themselves for the Kansas City market. And I knew about it, and I spoke with Judy Johns, who is the operating principal and the founder of Keller Williams in Kansas City, about the possibility of our office joining Heartland Partners in Caring, and what would that take. So it'd just been a couple of little conversations, and we had an agent here in the office whose wife was in a very difficult pregnancy and had an urgent need, had lost her job because she couldn't work, and their medical insurance was going away, and they didn't have the money for the premium. And so I just called Kansas City. I called Judy and the lady that is in charge of Heartland Partners in Caring up there, and told them what was going on. We weren't even a member, had never donated a dime, and this couple, this agent in our office, had everything they needed to make it through that crisis and get the bills paid that needed to be paid for them to have medical insurance for the birth of their baby in less than 2 weeks. It was phenomenal, and that would have never happened with the grant process through international with the Keller Williams Cares. So Heartland Partners in Caring out of Kansas City, which we are now a part of and do donate to every year,
Yeah.
was the one who really rescued one of our agents when we weren't even a part of them. So that just shows you the caring culture that we have.
Yeah, and unfortunately, sometimes by the time someone realizes that they are in a financial strain and need to ask for help, they don't have the luxury of waiting 2 to 3 months for that money to come in. So that's the reason that we have more of a regional and local fund, so we can get money to them immediately.
It feels really good too. And when we have our fundraising events that, I mean, really Shonda is like the queen of all of that. But we had our poker tournament and our chili cook-off and stuff. You know, these agents that benefit from it, even before they had benefits, are participating and helping raise money for these. And then, you know, sometimes it ends up being them and they're like, oh no, I just wanted to raise money for that. I didn't want to use any of it. I didn't want to need it. And I'm like, that's what it's for.
Yes.
That is what it's for. That is the gift
It is
of
the
the
gift.
agents to the agents. So be glad that you contributed, but be glad that it's there for you, because that's who it's for. So it's a great thing.
So another thing that we do with the money too is we also, with our culture committee, have a thing that we do every year called Red Day. And it's renew, energize, and donate. And so we contribute back to our community. And we've done everything from helping the VA hospital out. We have gotten clothes and donated it. We've gotten food and donated to the food banks. We have helped clean up a park for children to be able to play in, because some of our parks had gotten a little worn down and they needed a good lift so that it was safer for the children that came to play. And I remember specifically they needed sand around a playground area for the handicapped children so their wheelchairs could actually go up to the platform that they had designed for it without them falling off. You know, there's a lot of safety concerns, and we love the giving back. Everybody in the office shows up that day and helps contribute, but of course, it also takes funds to be able to do things like that. So it's not just agents that we help out, we also give back to our community.
Yes. Red Day was actually, it is Mo Anderson, who is the lady that really set the culture at the entire international company. It's her birthday.
Yep.
And so Red Day was started about 5 years ago. I know the Wichita Children's Home has been done by Keller
That's
Williams'
correct.
office in town. And we did the VA for 3 times, helped furnish the hospice unit.
Yeah.
And it's just been Red Day is a day where agents in Keller Williams all across the nation take a day off and do things in their communities to give back to the communities where they serve. And it is a celebration of Mo Anderson's birthday that is now going worldwide, since we've opened up in Mexico and Africa and Indonesia and Thailand. All of these companies will be celebrating Red Day along with Keller Williams Signature Partners in Wichita.
Yeah, it's really a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
A couple of years ago, our neighboring state in Oklahoma had a tornado hit their town called Moore, and it was devastating for many of the agents that are down there. And when catastrophic things like that happen, there's more of an immediate grant process to get supplies and funds there to help everybody through what they're going through. Our office personally loaded up a moving truck full of supplies and drove it down there to give back.
Checks were written immediately. It didn't. They just completely bypassed the grant process, and even got special permission to give money to real estate agents that weren't members of the Keller Williams family. They actually worked for other companies, but they were given checks to help them get through that difficult time until their offices could get up and running and they could get their businesses going again, because many of them couldn't even go swipe an ATM at the bank to get funds, and buy groceries and things. So I think it was a lot of camaraderie and fun
Yeah.
that happened, filling up an entire moving van with supplies to take to Oklahoma, brought a bond between our group in Wichita, the lender and everyone that
Yeah.
participated. And whenever we give, it's like we get back so much more because we just become stronger together.